Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Sheila. This is the WOW Wellness team, and we love WOW Wednesdays. For almost 2 years now, every single week we have held a testimonial call. And every week, I tell you, I am in tears almost every single week, and I learn something new every single week. So we are so excited that you have joined us tonight. If you're watching the replay, please make sure you get back with the person that invited you to this call. But we are just going to open this up, reminding everyone that we are not claiming anything. We're not making any claims, no diagnosis. We're not treating, preventing, or curing. We are using information technology, and it is powerful. So, Shalou is going to help me host the call tonight, and we want to hear from you. Anyone,
I
you can.
have I have a question.
Yes, Tina.
Hi. Um,
Hello.
so hi. I do craniosacral therapy and I did a couple sessions today. And when I got home, for some reason I just decided to run a scan and I felt fine. I felt good. I don't know. I just thought I would do it. It was the worst scan I've ever seen.
Oh,
I mean, I couldn't believe it. And my scans don't look that bad. And I'm just wondering, do you think that's from just having worked with people? And one of the women, I just felt like she wasn't quite right, that she wasn't well.
well, I will tell you something Lauren teaches me, and I am hard-headed. I tell you, I don't know how many times he has to tell me before I'll finally get it. But I was running scans that kept coming up, not me, but I knew the person that they seemed related to. And he said, "Are you clearing yourself before you scan yourself?"
Oh, geez, right.
Because we take on other people's stuff, we take on their energy. We're not aware of it typically until we become more sensitive, but you're carrying their stuff. And that's why he has clear and shield on there. We've got to clear everything that's not ours and shield it. So I'm guilty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
did.
didn't really, I didn't think of that. I did re-optimize myself after a little bit of time, and it was much more like my scan. So that probably cleared it. But it was just really shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. I know whenever mine comes back not normal that I've got some other things that aren't mine.
Well, it was a good lesson.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up because, here we are 2.5 years later, and I still can't remember to clear myself. And it should be part of your protocol. I mean, and so I'm trying to build like a little graphic that's your step by steps reminders and very beginning, clear, energetic
Mhm.
clearing. It's got to be the first one. And when you're doing the multi-scan or multicast with your family or your Cephi groups or your patient groups or whatever, make sure that you clear them first because they're probably
Hmm.
carrying some other people's stuff too.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Now
crazy.
I made a post this last week. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I thought it was interesting. I ran a scan, not really sure if it was mine or not, but I thought that it was very interesting that blood cells came up, the blood came up, the organ cells came up, and three chromosomes come up. Well, also we're getting information of things that might be starting. It could be months, years before you actually had symptoms. So when you get symptoms, that stuff's
Mhm.
been brewing for a while. So that's another reason I love this technology and being able to teach other people this and empowering them in their own homes because we're going to stop it before it gets started. So when I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go run some Cephi. And I don't usually scan and ask what I need. I just give myself things. But I did. I ran a Cephi scan and what came up? Cellular restore. And I thought, well, that makes perfect sense. Obviously, there is something going on at the cellular level, something my chromosomes, maybe the wrong genes are turned on or off. I don't know what it is, but I broadcast it and I put it on a Cephi dot and I wore it. So everything improved.
Hmm.
So if I hadn't done that, what might have manifested? So I just thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
This is why I love tapping into these because it's not just testimonials, it's learning.
Yeah.
And I just learned something new tonight. I didn't
Yeah.
know I should be clearing myself first or my multi-scans. Thank you.
Yes. Yep. And I'm telling you, you sometimes people think that just because somebody's been doing this for a while, or they're a practitioner, or maybe they're a big leader, they think they have all the answers, but we don't. I
Mhm.
learn from brand new people every
Mhm.
week because we're all called in different ways and we think about it in different ways. So we're using it differently. So it's really
Yeah.
important that we share that.
I have a couple of experiences if it's open for the floor here.
It is. Tell us.
Well, I had a little something happen. I just came up with some cold sores this past week, and I thought, oh, I remember seeing a frequency for that. So I ran it, and you know something? This was a doozy. And it's not coming up the way it used to come up, and it's healing so much faster. I am
Wow.
I'm just amazed because I've been burdened with this my whole life, and I have to come up with the reasonings of why I'm still getting these. And I think it was a stress related thing. I have to calm myself down and pick myself up. But running the scans on the cold sore frequency really, really worked. So
Oh,
that's just something on myself. But something else amazing happened this week. I'm just flabbergasted. So I took a call at 9:30 Monday night from a friend who was in a panic situation. Her little 5-year-old boy was jumping before bedtime, bouncy, bouncy, bounce, boom onto the parent's bed and on the mattress, but miscalculated, and his body was on the mattress. The mattress was on the floor, miscalculated, and his little head on the right hand side, boom, right on the hardwood floor.
oh no.
Thud, just a thud. So they were frantic, thinking that something terrible had happened, and called me because she knew I'd been reaching out to her to try the frequencies and whatnot. And she called me. It was her first indication. She did not want to go to the ER, did not want to subject to the long, long waits and then maybe not do anything, right? So she called and I said, okay, I haven't got her son set up in the system yet. So it took me a little while. Poor little soul. He was just crying in the background, just in agony. He went down with quite a thud. So I finally got him in the system and ran the scans only on his head, like the brain, the neck, the ear, and I did the eyes as well. So just those. I ran scans a couple of times, and each time I forwarded the email to her so she could see. And I said, okay, it looks like it's not too bad. There's some inflammation there. Maybe it was there before. We don't know, but there's nothing alarming here right now. And what's going on with his ears? And she says, oh, yeah, he's a little hard of hearing. I didn't know that.
Oh,
So that just kind of
Mhm.
solidified to her that I'm seeing things that I'm kind of picking up on things. And I also did the eyes just to make sure there was nothing alarming there. Long story short, I ran a couple of scans and did the frequencies for head injury and ran it. And the little guy, I said to her, I said, do you notice his cries are becoming less frequent? So I said, those cries are now sounding like a headache. So he's in pain because he hit his head. So I said to her, I'm not a doctor. I don't profess to know everything. I know these frequencies do work, but if you ever get this inkling, you got to take him in and get him checked out because, I'm not a doctor and you got to do what you know is right for your boy. And she said, no, I want to do this. I don't want to go to the hospital. I said, okay, fine. So then I said, put a cold compress on his right hand, the right side of his head, and just make sure he's soothed and whatnot. His cries got less and less and less. He dozed off, and then all of a sudden again. But I said to her, I said, this is the cry because he's got a headache. What can we do? So we were Googling, what can we do? Honey, frankincense, and she was doing all these things. She says, okay, Kathy, she says, I've taken up a lot of your time. We were an hour on the phone doing these frequencies back and forth. And I said, I'm going to run this frequency all night long for head injury for him. Get him soothed, Could be a concussion, so wake him up every 2 hours. Just stir him a little bit. So I got a text the next morning, and they were exhausted because they had to keep waking him up and just stirring him a little bit. She said he woke up the next morning and said, "Okay, can I get ready for school now?"
Oh,
Nothing out of the ordinary. It was almost like he'd forgotten about it. But these frequencies I sent all night long. It was amazing to kind of hear the less and less cries before I hung up the phone with them the night before. That was 10:30, quarter to 11. I hung up the phone. By 7 a.m., she texted me and said, "He's asking to go to school."
oh my
I
goodness.
was blown away. It was great. It was great.
That's
So we're on
amazing.
call.
So awesome.
Wow. See, and this is what I love about these calls is you guys that have your scan subscription and you have friends and sometimes strangers and something's going on and you just get right to work. You don't question it. You don't think you have to be an expert. You just get in there and do what
Mhm,
your intuition tells you and you help people.
mhm.
That is so
Planting the
awesome.
seed. Planting the seed.
Yes.
Planting a seed. Yeah,
Yes. And if we
exactly.
get every household set up to doing this for themselves, wouldn't that be amazing?
Mhm.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so
I've
awesome.
got a story to share. Well, I've got a few. I mean, so much happens in a week. I'm
I
like,
know.
okay, what do I share? But we're talking about falls and banging your head. She's got to be in her 70s-year-old grandma that had a fall and hit her head. And her friends, actually, as it turns out, remember the baby I told you guys about when I first started? This
Yeah.
is his grandma.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Yeah. And so she got a really bad head injury and she's not been the same since she fell and hurt herself. And so the friends all pooled together and they're like, we're going to gift her, a month of scans.
Wow.
So I started running it two days ago. And within the first 24 hours, I got a call from one of the friends going, she's feeling so much better.
Wow.
And then it was amazing. And it's so funny. It's the same group of people. The one lady that I've spoken about that has the MS, she was having a really hard week last week. And, like it was just flaring up. And I don't know, all of a sudden, a lot of anxiety coming up in her. And so she's not on a subscription anymore, but she's a dear friend of mine. And so one day she just called me up and we're chatting. And I can just hear in her voice that she's not good. So, as I'm talking to her, I just bring her up, run the scan. And then I'm like, I'm going to send the depression, overwhelm, anxiety frequency. And I'm talking to her and she goes, "Are you doing something? Because I'm starting to feel better." And I'm like, "Well, yes, actually, I am."
Oh my
And it was
goodness.
literally like 3 minutes. So after that, I told her, I said, "Look, I'm going to run it a little bit longer, and I'm also going to run the MS one because I want you to just feel better." So then she calls me 20 minutes later and she goes, "You're not going to believe this. One of my other friends that, she was talking to her other friend who's like in her 80s, who's definitely, she's going away somewhere, but she's like, I'm getting this in January when I come back."
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
So yeah. So she's 82 and she totally understands radionics and everything else. So
Oh,
she's like, "No, I need to do this." Right. So
Mhm.
anyway, when she called her, she goes, "Okay, what just happened? Because you sound a whole lot better." Because, I guess earlier when she was talking to her and said that she was driving home, her friend was very concerned because she didn't, feel that this lady was in any shape to drive. And so when she talked to her now, she's like, "Oh my God, like something really switched." And so again, it was another, she's like, "Oh my God, I need to do this. As soon as I come back, I'm doing this." Right. So,
wow.
Mhm.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. But I think my biggest win for this week was just being able to take care of my husband. Honest to God, like it brings me to tears. He's, got probably definitely 60, if not 70 pounds to lose. And since July, he's down 22.
Wow.
And this is something that, even as a practitioner, I'm learning that when people start to lose weight, you really have to be careful in their weight loss journey because all the crap that's held in those fat cells is now coming out. So, it seems like we conquer one thing and something else comes up. We conquer that and then something else comes up. So, he had cellulitis in his left leg. We got that all cleared up. Then he got it in his right leg. Then we got that cleared up. And now on Friday, like he was, he's got high blood pressure, so we're dealing with that. But he came home and it was really concerning because he's like, there's so much pressure in my eye and I have a headache. And literally you could see the poofiness all in this area. And so right away I started, sending the frequencies, but I had energy medicine. So, we did the thing to increase his microcirculation. We did the Celsonic to bring down the inflammation, and I just told him, you got to just keep pumping water and, just watching no crap food. Just, he's pretty good with it anyway, but just, fresh juices and all that kind of stuff. On Saturday, I ran his scans and, oh my goodness, like stroke index, aneurysm. It was all showing up.
Yeah.
And so, I went to him and I said, I don't want to freak you out, but I do need you to see this because this is serious. Men take it so laxy-daisy. They don't understand. And, and so when I did that, I think it really helped him understand just how dire it was. And so, I could see the shift in him that, the water intake has increased. Even when he's, going out with his friends no, I'm just having a piece of steak and salad. I'm like, okay, good. No fried wings and anything like that, right? Because ultimately the person has to make that decision for themselves. You can't be there and mother them their whole life, right? So I can see, but had he gone to a doctor, okay, now, I'll book an appointment. How long before the appointment comes up? Right? For whatever scan or MRI or whatever they do. Then you got to wait to see the doctor. To tell you the results. And just the fact that we could sort of pinpoint the problem and then send the frequencies as well as the other amazing technologies at our service to be able to turn it around. So all day today, I was sending, because today's Wednesday. So I think he went to work Monday, but then came home not feeling good. Went to work yesterday and, lasted a little bit longer, but then it was like, no, I need to come home. Went to work today and came home and said, oh, there's a little bit, whatever. And I've just been like nonstop sending the frequencies. At 5 o'clock, he goes, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm taking care of you. He goes, I feel fantastic. He goes, I'm back. I said, everyone at the office, he's the jokester and always calling everyone out. And they're like, oh, I guess you're feeling better, are you? He goes, I feel great. I'm like, okay, good. But just because you feel great, don't think the work is done. We got to continue, But it just, again, it's such a blessing to be able to sort of see, because when you don't know what's wrong, you may not take it as seriously as maybe you need to.
Right.
Or you could be making something so much worse than it really is. Which is almost just as bad, So either way, just to be able to sort of go, okay, just like with those parents, they might have thought, oh no, he's got a concussion. Is there internal bleeding? This, that, whatever, right? Just to be able to put their mind at ease that, no, you know what, it's going to be okay. Or no, you know what? This is serious. We really need to take care of this. It's absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Yes. So empowering. And that is really what I want to help people understand. Because you don't have x-ray vision. You can't see what's going on. Do I need to go to the hospital? Do I need to go to urgent care? Do I need to take my kids to the pediatrician? Or do I need to take the dogs to the vet? I don't know. Now we have to make that trip. Who knows how long it's going to take to get there? Do you have to take time off work? Now you've got a big bill. Did they actually solve the problem? What if we could make better decisions just having information? It's so amazing. Your lady with the MS, do you happen to have her using the blue and gold and 660?
So here's where it's at. She is slowly, but it has to be very slowly because she's afraid of taking too much
Yeah.
and then detoxing too much.
Yep.
So it's all baby steps with her.
Yeah.
So right now she was on a different protocol, and I'm like, well, you need to try this. But again, she's got a trip planned to Mexico. So
Ah.
she goes, I come back. And I'm like, but okay. So, little baby steps. So one step at a time, she absolutely, gets the scans.
Yeah.
And even she was paying for her daughter to get her daughter feeling better. And her daughter was the one that went to France and was like, oh my God, I got stairs to climb. My knees are killing me, right? So
Yeah.
they're all experiencing the benefits of it. And this is where she's the one who's going to, start. Actually, she will start in Jan, and then that other 82-year-old will be in Feb. And the whole group of them, they're all eventually going to, one by one sign up, because they have to take care of their families. And right now they're all just sort of sitting there experiencing the benefits of it, going, wow, look at that, that worked. And look at that, that worked,
Yep.
So yeah.
That is how that's how we make our impact on this planet. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Shalou. Anyone else? We've got a full house tonight. We would love to hear from you too. Christina, is that you with your hand up?
Hey, yes. Sorry, I have a hard time piping up sometimes. Can you hear me okay on this?
Yes.
Okay. I know we just have a few minutes, but I did want to welcome Shelley Osley. She's a new QLA in my group who's been actively scanning individuals as well. So this is her first call, and I'm really glad that she's able to plug in tonight. So thanks for making it. So I just have a couple updates to share with everyone about a family that I'm scanning. So I was referred this mother-daughter duo who came to my home on Saturday. And within about the first 10, 15 minutes of starting to work with them, she was on the phone telling her husband that he needed a scan and the son needed a scan. Can we scan the dog? And can we scan the house?
Gosh.
So I'm scanning 4 plus the dog and the house. And very quickly, because she's done this type of thing before. So that helps to accelerate things when people have that belief at the outset. So as soon as she saw the inner voice scan, and I was just asking her, like, I just always ask an open-ended question, like, do you have a particular health goal? I don't want to get up in people's business, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not, I just want to say, hey, what are you kind of looking to achieve this week? And so massive work stress was a huge thing. And because the inner voice with just the vitals indicated the top 3 emotions, that was all it took for her to say, this is solid. Like, this is exactly bang on. And she was like, this is exactly what I'm feeling. So it really made it go along very quickly in terms of her understanding the technology. So her principal concern was really like verifying some serious health issues that she's dealing with her breast tissue. And so over the past couple of days, what I was able to do with the vitals was it was able to actually prove what her doctor, she had just got some doctor results for some stuff as well. And so it was quite mind-blowing, because it just really shows the accuracy of what the information's saying. And I was able to literally pinpoint through the charts yesterday on a quick Zoom with her, and just piece things together and make sense of a few things and things she can quickly start to change, right?
Wow.
But instantly behavioral changes with the family dynamic, just overall managing stress. So things that were triggering her, she said literally, like, it's not phasing her as much. And that's something that I'm hearing consistently across the board with a lot of women who have a lot of stress in their families, that they're dealing with work, health, and family stress. That's consistent. I'm getting that message constantly with other people that I'm scanning. And then the other interesting thing was, the family has so much going on. They don't have time to take care of their dog. So the dog's been kind of, not that they're not taking care of the dog, but it's just kind of like, okay, and when are we taking the dog to the vet, right? One of those. And so she said, my poor dog, it needs a little bit of care. Can you help before we go to the vet? And I said, sure, I'll just start doing general things. I said, I'm very new to helping animals. I'm just going to do vital scan and optimizing. That's all I'm doing. So she said that they have a French bulldog, and typically, I guess when he goes to his wherever he sleeps, he's not vocal. She said that he has started barking now. Which is like, it's like, they're not annoyed by it. They feel like it's like he's gone past some sort of block of some sort, because he's just never like voicing himself. And it's the funniest thing because I don't know why. Like I just said, look, I'm going to look at the chakras. I don't know what to say. Your dog's barking. That's what they're supposed to do. This is great. So, really interesting stuff happening. And it's just like explaining how it is just information that people can do something with. It's triggered them to start to look at their environment, their home, different things that are aggravating factors. So she's now starting to piece together, oh, well, is it mold? Is this why mold is showing up? What do I have happening in my home? So it's just been really an exciting week with just this particular family. And I just want to help her get the scan so she can take care of her issues because they're serious. She's got to do something about it.
Yeah.
And she can. So I know I'll be able to share Shalu's story with her because that was a powerful one with her, the individual she's helping. But yeah, that's 4 people, a dog, and a house. And it's been great.
That's amazing. I love this. Oh my word. Thank you so much, Christina. Anyone else before we find out what Solex is going to launch this week? Oh, I can't keep up with it. Anyone else? We would love to hear from you. Hello.
If no one has anything else, Sheila, could you tell me about the thermography? Because when I was looking for the wand today, I came across and I had no idea that we can do thermography with this as well. So
Yeah,
could you maybe just talk about that?
We started thermography, what's it been, 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And we had high hopes. And then someone or something happened, and the FDA got the idea that we were making medical claims. I don't know if anybody actually was, but they had gotten word. They sent a letter to Solex telling them that they were under the impression that this was a medical device, which we did not intend for the thermal imaging camera to be used as a medical device. It's thermal imaging. And so Kai, being an attorney, sent a response back, and I haven't heard anything since. And that's been almost a year ago. But we still have a lot of people that bought the equipment that are using thermography very well. We have, oh, my name just went, Dr. Melvin from California. He's actually our medical doctor that reads them. I met him years ago in Vegas at a naturopathic summit. He did a scan for me, actually. But he works with all of the thermal imaging people, and there's a lot of people using it in their clinic. I have been trained on it. I've done all of my initial scans. I've been cleared, but my clinical space where I am doesn't facilitate proper environment for it. So I have a system that I would love to sell to somebody that can use it if you're looking, because Solex is not currently selling it.
Oh.
Yep. But
Right,
it's
well,
a great equipment.
Yeah.
Yep. And it can start a whole new business for somebody.
Awesome.
Yeah. And our time is up, but if you have something really exciting to share, we would love to hear it. Oh, Tina, you're in the background. What's that, Carrie?
I don't have anything.
All right. Well, I'm really curious if y'all didn't see, Solex just launched essential oils yesterday. Shock, Jake Smith from doTERRA. And actually, Lauren and I had a conversation in Australia last November where he was talking about he wanted to bring some essential oils into Solex and didn't know if that was going to happen, but it has. So aren't we lucky? So
I do have a question.
Yeah.
On the essential oils and on the micro minerals or on the minerals, there's a little tab that says modulation or something on and something off. Down at the, where the buttons are for, when you imprint and that kind of thing. And there's a small button off to the left-hand side, and it says on and off. And I think it says modulate or something like that.
That is a great question that I don't know the answer to. Does anyone else? But you can also send an email to support@Solex.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, and then bring it back to us next week so we can tell everybody. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know this half hour just does not feel long enough because we've got so many amazing things to share. But if y'all want to increase it to an hour, let me know. I don't really like hour-long calls because we go right into the Solex call, but I also don't want to miss anything you guys have to share because this is powerful. This empowers all of us. And I love seeing all your faces. So you have an amazing rest of your week. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Dr. Ioana is going to be sharing some amazing training with us. You do not want to miss this. 7 o'clock Central Time. We will record because we know schedules are crazy, but we are excited for this special opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr. Sheila,
you.
for this opportunity.
Thank you,
See you
Sheila.
tomorrow all.
Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Love you all
Bye.
bunches.
Bye.